Update 2 on Tropical Storm Dalila, currently with winds of 45 miles per hour and a pressure of 1001 millibars. Position 17.5 north, 105.4 west, and it's expected to move towards the northwest and curve eventually towards the west, and intensify, of course, in the next 24 hours, perhaps reaching Category 1 hurricane strength in a day or two. Tropical storm warnings in effect for Punta San Telmo to La Fortuna in Mexico, and tropical storm watches from La Fortuna northwards to Cabo Corrientes in Mexico. The storm won't make landfall, but it will pass fairly close to the coastline, so there may be some rainfall, heavy rains, which may lead to some local flooding for some areas, and gusty winds as well. The sea surface temperatures here are fairly warm, especially near the coastline, 29 or 30 degrees near the shores, but out at sea, where the storm is at the moment, around 27 to 28 degrees, but the waters will go down below tropical cyclone maintenance strength, if I can say that, as it moves off to the west, so it will fall below the tropical cyclone threshold for development. Here's the latest satellite floater imagery. You can see the storm moving, progressing slowly towards the northwest, and movement is going to be fairly slow, and that could lead to some prolonged rainfall for parts of Mexico. It's not a very large system, so that's obviously a good thing. That only very close to the coast we're seeing lots of rainfall at the moment. You can see the bulk of the storm mostly out at sea, obviously, and that's expected to continue over the next day or two. It'll probably be windy along the coastline as well at the moment over the next day or two, especially if the storm intensifies, and that certainly will be something to watch if it does. So let's look at the world tropics then. We only have two systems at the moment, but they are quite strong systems. Well, one is anyway, Rumbia becoming a typhoon earlier today, and we're going to have an update on that one very shortly. And Dalila, of course, near the Mexican coastline, moving off to the northwest. That's all that's going on at the moment, but there may be some more popping up soon enough. On the Pacific Ocean, the overview imagery, you can see both storms at either side of the Pacific Ocean at both extreme opposite ends. Rumbia to the far left, approaching the Chinese coast, and Dalila near Mexico, moving off to the northwest. So how does that put it into perspective with other years then? A joint 64th place with 4 tropical storms and 2 hurricanes so far in the eastern Pacific. That will probably change very soon, and 2013 will no longer be in last place if the next storm forms. The models are hinting at that, but more on that possibility of new tropical storms forming in the Tropical Weather Bulletin later this evening. And don't forget, you can track this storm and indeed any other storms like Rumbia and any others that may form at the website force13.com/storm tracking. That takes you straight to the storm tracking page where we have the overview map, which shows all the storms that are currently active, and then you can go in depth basin by basin to see the track maps and any warning information as that becomes relevant. And obviously it is relevant in this case with the tropical storm watches and warnings in effect. No change from last night, by the way, in terms of the warnings, and that's likely to remain the case. Maybe tropical storm warning for the northern section where the watches are at the moment if the storm moves a little bit closer, but for now that is all. We're back with the Tropical Weather Bulletin at around midnight UTC with another update on this storm.